The Vigilante is back, as is Slade Wilson and Agent. So it's pretty much the worst reunion Team Arrow could ask for. Well, there's an A and a B plot, so let's start with the B plot. I'm not sure. They both seem to be B plots, actually, kind of, sort of. But, anyway, let's start with Team Arrow, which Dig is still leading, but he's being kept out of action by Agent who's asking everyone type questions and calling them all, and just calling them into her office, go and then they just walk out. We all know where this is going. If she is ever able to prove anything, she'll either be won over by their heroism or killed. So that's why I'm not spending much time talking about these plot points, because we all know it'll be meaningless in the end. Since I'm pretty sure Arrow will be getting a 7th season. And I'm pretty sure even if this was the last season, it's not going to end with everyone in prison. So anyway, Vigilante is back. And he's trying to assassinate the councilwoman who put forward the anti-vigilante legislation that has been turned into a referendum. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You would think that would be counterproductive, having a vigilante assassinate someone, and yeah, it is. Everyone points out how stupid this plan is. But then, this vigilante guy doesn't seem like the brightest bulb on the Christmas tree. But anyway, what's going on with all this? Well, all the while they're trying to keep her safe. It comes to a head while she's on a talk show, and only Black Canary can be there because Agent with a bunch of agents shows up just to go and I have to ask, what do these people think is going to happen? They get rid of the vigilantes. We saw what happened we see what happens to the city the moment the vigilantes go away. The Green Arrow leaves for like 5 minutes, and somebody's already put a doomsday machine under the city or unleashed an army of super soldiers. What do they think is going to happen? I just don't get. I guess the people of Starling City have no or Star City now, I guess it is. They have no self-preservation instincts, like, at all. They're just like, oh, I'm sure the next earthquake machine won't kill anyone. But anyway, so yeah, Vigilante tries to take out the cat. Also, on a TV talk show, Black Canary stops him and discovers that he's her former partner, who she saw killed in front of her. Because comic books, no one is allowed to stay dead. Why do they even bother having tombstones in comic books? I mean, really, who would buy them? Rest in peace. Yeah, right. Like that's gonna happen. You're living in a comic book universe. And basically, well, the dark matter explosion turned her into Black Canary. It basically turned him into Luke Cage. No, literally, it turned him into Luke Cage. It even looks like the exact same special effect when he gets shot at one point and the bullet does nothing to him. So yeah, he's basically can't be killed. So he's on the loose now. And oddly enough, though, he makes a remark about the councilwoman being corrupt, which I think is setting up something for later, because he makes it because she says something about the anti-vigilante legislation when he has her, and he says one less corrupt politician, and it I don't know, the way the two sentences are come together in structure, it makes it sound like this isn't even about the anti-vigilante legislation. So we'll have to see if that goes anywhere. Now on to that phone call Oliver got at the end of last episode. It turns out Slade's son, who also went into Australian Special Forces, was in some sort of sting operation or something in generic communist country sort of place. I'm just going to call it Pennsylvania. And apparently he got rounded up and put in prison for life because he was undercover or something. But we get some flashbacks. Slade is to where we learned that Australia looks a lot like Canada, and Slade used his camping trips when he would use camping trips with his son as a cover for doing his government assassination work stuff. And basically they go to Pennsylvania. He needs Oliver there because his plan calls for delivering a bribe. However, they need a cover. So the cover is that Oliver, using both his celebrity and his status as a politician, is going there to ask for amnesty for Slade Wilson's son, when really he's there to deliver a bribe. Only things don't go as planned when they're told that Slade Wilson's son was murdered in prison. However, then when they ask to see the body, the guy almost immediately breaks down and tells them that instead he was kidnapped by a group of super terrorists who are completely off the grid. So, great. Great. Yeah, you really stuck to that cover story for all 5 minutes, guy. Slade then finds out where they're holding his son, and he's going after them. Oliver isn't about to let him go alone, which is why Slade drugs him. There's then an awesome scene where Slade takes out a bunch of guys. Oliver wakes up, of course, goes after him, but that's when the twist happens. Slade is offering his services to the terrorist group if they'll let his son go. However, it turns out they want all the secrets his son has. At least they say they do. Only then, just as Oliver arrives, they find out the truth. In a twist that I'm sure if you saw coming a million miles away, if you were at all paying attention. The head of the terrorist group is Slade's son. So loyalties are divided and everything else. This episode has some okay character moments, and it obviously is setting up things, but is very much a setup episode for setting up where things are going to go forward. So it's slightly above average. It's slightly above average for Arrow, I would say. The flashbacks through Slade before the island are a decent enough touch. So I'm giving this episode a 6 out of 10. And that's pretty much all there is to say about it until next week, when we'll see where this goes, because it's pretty much ends on a cliffhanger.